Hello, welcome to Informs What's Your Story? I'm Kara Tucker. I'm the editor of ORMS Today at Informs. I'm joined today by Cassandra McZeal. She is the Modeling, Optimization, and Data Science Supervisor at ExxonMobil. Today we're going to talk a little bit about her career path, her favorite part about her career, if she couldn't be a data scientist, what she might do. Please give the video a thumbs up and thank you for watching. Thank you, Cassandra, for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start with an oddball question, like what's your perfect birthday celebration?
That's an interesting question because last summer on my birthday, I actually went to the Conference for African American Researchers in Mathematical Sciences.
Okay.
Gave a presentation, a very quick presentation, but it was mostly me answering questions from the audience.
Okay.
And the audience was probably 50-50 working mathematicians and graduate students. It was a really great birthday for me because the students had tons of questions. What's it like to go through graduate school? And I remember being in that position. I remember thinking grad school is so hard. I'm never going to make it through. And it was like, I'm telling you, life is so good on the other side of grad school. How do you make it through your classes? What kinds of classes you should take? All of that anxiety. I remember that. And I felt like I was a part of helping alleviate that in a lot of ways. And what was really cool afterwards, I was right before lunch. And we ran out of time to do questions. And I said, well, if anyone has any questions, I'll be outside in the lobby. And I sat outside in the lobby, and I'm not kidding you. I had students talking to me. I had to start taking them 2 and 3 at a
Oh
time.
my gosh.
It was 90 minutes of talking to students. And one of the great things about that, I actually identified one student who ended up applying for a job at ExxonMobil and got a job in our trading department.
Look at that. All about who you know.
Yep.
Well, okay, if you weren't imprinting young minds, what would your perfect birthday be?
My perfect birthday would involve some chocolate of some sort, maybe a tropical island.
Yeah.
And probably lots of spa treatments.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Well, thanks for that answer. Let us know, how long have you been an Informs member?
I've been an Informs member since the mid-90s.
Okay.
So
Do you predate Informs?
when it was OR, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Boy, you unlocked a memory there.
Yes.
Yes, when I was a graduate student at Rice, I went to Orsa Thames. It was one of the we would go to Siam and we would go to Orsa.
Mm-hmm.
I do predate that. So I was a member all through graduate school, and then was a member for my entire career. It was a lapse with my dues a few times, but no.
Awesome.
See, Orsa Thames.
I'm glad that you've been with us for most of that time from then until now. Talk a little bit about your career. You turned a couple degrees in mathematics into an almost 25-year career at ExxonMobil. So just tell us a little bit about your career journey and then what's kept you in one place for so long.
Well, what's kept me in one place for so long is I am a native Houstonian. And believe it or not, there are very few native Houstonians that work for ExxonMobil. It's a really global company, and it attracts people who like to travel all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the few people who has always been in Houston. It just happenstance. I got hired at the ExxonMobil Upstream Research Company. There were several Rice grad students who graduated with their PhDs and went up the street to the old URC building and worked. I was even in a campaign once for Exxon while I was a graduate student. They did a little article, and they had some Rice grad students come over because it was the article was about a Rice alum who worked for Exxon.
Hey.
I just remember that as well. But started there after I did a brief postdoc at Rice for about a year. And then I was like, I need more money. So I think industry sounds really good. So I called up a friend of mine. This was early 2000.
Okay.
And asked him, is Exxon hiring? He was like, no, there's this big thing happening. We have a complete hiring freeze. Can't talk about it, et cetera, et cetera. It turned out to be the Exxon and Mobil merger.
Okay.
And
so it's Exxon and then that ExxonMobil.
Yeah. So when I started, it was ExxonMobil.
Mm-hmm.
The merger went through. My friend called me back. He said, we had an optimization team at Mobil, and most of them want to stay in Dallas. And so they will not be coming to Houston. Can you come in for an interview? And so that's how I ended up interviewing. And then I got the job. I started on what we call the optimization team. We built basically a development planning optimization model. Basically, you're trying to make the decisions about how to develop an offshore um, asset, an offshore oil and gas asset, and take everything to market. And then we had the economics on top of it. And so you're basically trying to maximize net present value of this operations and also make sure you meet your demand on shore. So I worked on that. I was in the optimization team, and then I was made the team lead of the optimization team. So that was super fun. It's really cool to like one of the nominees for the Edelman, someone who used to be an intern in my group. So it's really cool to see everyone doing so great.
Yeah.
So went on and I had my side step. I was told, we think you'd be really good with in management.
Okay.
And so one of the things we'd like to test, can you lead a team where you don't have the technical acumen, you don't have the technical authority?
Okay.
So I went and led a visualization team, which was crazy.
That doesn't sound like a...
I did nothing. I know nothing. And so we were trying to visualize when you try to the number of pixels and the size of visualizing a reservoir or a geologic model, they're just huge. They're enormous independently. And our goal was try to visualize them on top of each other. They're different. They serve different purposes. The reservoir model is more about drilling and production. And the geologic model is more about characterizing the subsurface. The geologic model tends to have a lot more detail, but you put them both and try to render them on a screen and the whole thing crashes. And so we wanted to be able to bridge that gap. And we actually partnered with a video game company, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So we were testing it, and they were writing code. My team was writing the code in C# to test what we were asking the third party to build. And I was basically hobnobbing with the CEO and having lunches and doing contracts and stuff like that. And I thought, I don't like this at all. I prefer the technical work.
Yeah.
But it was a really great team. Got to meet a lot of really fun people.
Yeah.
Then I came back and I was made a supervisor of the team that I left. And so that was super fun. In my talk I gave this morning, I talked about the 4 things I ask when I start a new role. What's your biggest challenge? What's your biggest opportunity? If you were me, what would you do first? And who should I talk to next? And so I was going around interviewing my new team. I knew all of them, but I wanted to sit down and get their perspectives about those 4 questions. And the third one shocked me because more than one person said, oh, if I were you, I'd quit. I guess they didn't want to be the supervisor. And that made me think, what is it about this role that people regret or dread so much? And how can I lean into that role differently? And that kind of, I don't call it a villain origin story. Maybe that's my hero origin story.
Of course.
Everyone had seen supervisors as more as the people who tell you no,
Right.
as opposed to, and they had a lot of paperwork and bogged you down with minutia and things like that, versus collaborating, versus enabling, versus removing barriers to your success. So I kind of made that my mission to do that. So I led that. That was one department in a broader modeling, optimization, and data science organization at the research center. And then by 2016, I led the entire group.
Okay.
I did that for 6 years. And then at that point, ExxonMobil took all of the technology organizations. So we had chemicals technology, we had downstream technology. I led the upstream research, the math part of that technology organization. And our IT organization also had technology. All of those technology organizations were combined in 2022 into one overarching technology organization that supports the entire enterprise. I helped design the modeling and optimization and data science part of that. And I was a senior advisor in the larger technology organization for 2 years. And after that, I launched back into the business line, into the upstream, where I currently, it's a long title. It's Opportunity Evaluation and Analysis in the Strategic Planning and Business Development organization. And what that really means is we support strategy. We support big enterprise-wide decision-making. When there's a big acquisition that comes along, It's my team that builds the machine learning models that try to predict how this might impact our balance sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I am today.
Wow. So
Was that a long
you're gonna
answer?
hop around ExxonMobil till you retire? Is that your plan?
Apparently, that's what I plan to do.
Well, why not?
I know, 25 years sneaks up on you.
Yeah. What's been your favorite part about that decade-long career at ExxonMobil? Obviously, it wasn't the optimization part team.
Well, the visualization team. The people and the problems.
Your favorite part?
People and problems. The problems we work on are so interesting. One of my directs gave a presentation to me the other day, an optimization model, and I thought, I'm so jealous of you. That is such a cool problem. And to actually see what they've built actually impact a decision that's being made, amazing. And also the people. I'm not kidding when I say I've worked with some of the smartest people in the world. I mean, just hands down, some of the smartest people in the world. And it's been a complete honor and privilege. So absolutely, the people and the problems.
That make a big difference. Does. Awesome. Thank you. Would you say that the work you do saves lives, saves money, or solves problems?
We solve problems, which can save lives. Right. We solve problems. So there are, big strategic decisions that a company needs to make. And sometimes there's a lot of data underpinning those decisions, and sometimes there aren't. And we work through the whole decision quality framework for that. And we become a part of an integrated team. I really like the way depending on the problem, someone on my team may be working with 3 or 4 different departments with groups of 5 to 10 different people, depending on what they're working on. And it never changes. And their ability to not only identify the problem, but also solve it. And sometimes it sounds really complicated and the solution is super easy and it solves in 1 second.
Right.
Or it seems like it should be an easy problem and it's really complicated. And then they have to kind of figure out what's the good enough solution that gives the decision maker enough information to decide what to do.
Right. And sometimes the hardest problem is deciding the problem to solve, right?
Sometimes the hardest problem is deciding there is no problem to solve. You think you have a problem and it's not really a problem, and you really should just apply this rule of thumb, and it's worked. And the amount of resources, we could throw all of the resources and talent and technology at this, and you might get 1% better. Now, if it's 1% on a billion, let's go.
Right.
If it's 1% on a couple of 100,000, we waste that just on software licenses.
And having worked on that problem.
We will have eaten all of that up just by working on it.
Yeah. So give us one or two of the lessons you've learned throughout your career regarding interpersonal smarts. Is that what your talk was?
That it was, exactly.
Give us one or two.
So my talk was called The Hard Truth About Soft Skills. And my premise is your technical skills are table stakes. Everybody knows you're smart. And at some point, that it's like the air. No one is questioning how smart you are. They're questioning your ability to solve the problem. This is the problem I have. I was told that you could help me. Why are you showing me equations? I don't know what to do with those equations. And so when I was thinking through putting that talk together, kind of foundational in all of that is self-awareness. You have to know the kind of person you are. You have to know, do I like working on a team? Do I like working alone? Do I like publishing my work? Do I need my code to be perfect before I can deliver a solution? Do I like working in a more agile way, or do I want to go off for a few weeks and try to perfect this before I bring it forward? And when you can match your propensities and the way you like to work with an organization that embraces that, that's where things really shine. So I think the most critical soft skill, or the most critical interpersonal skill, is knowing how you tick and making sure you put yourself in a position to succeed in the way that you work. I made the comment that I've been decorating my house for 18 months and I've finished 0 rooms because I can't make a decision. And the poor decorator, she actually told a mutual friend, why won't Cassandra let me do anything? Like, I'm carrying chairs out of my house myself. Why am I doing this? You have the decorator, because there's the part of that is feeling like you're in control, and part of that is feeling like you're going to make a wrong decision. Like, literally the most low stakes thing is the color of this pillow. It doesn't matter. You can switch it out. But saying that, knowing that about myself, I have to put hacks in place at work. So when you're like that, you can drive your team crazy because you never make a decision.
Yeah.
Or I'm very option oriented. And so when someone brings me a new idea, I'm like, squirrel, okay, let's try this. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And the team is like, are you kidding me? I thought we were done. And so the hack I have for myself is it a 5-minute decision? Is it a 5-hour decision? Is it a 5-day decision?
Mm-hmm.
Things don't usually, unless they're like strategic studies, things don't usually go into the 5-week, 5 months.
Yeah.
But when I can sort of bring myself back, answer the email, answer them one way or the other, you can do that right now.
Yeah.
Is this going to involve a lot of time, a lot of money, resources you don't control? Okay, maybe you need 5 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe you need 5 days. So that's one interpersonal skill. Another, you have to like people, or at least pretend you like people. You have to be respectful of people.
Yeah.
And that really goes into solving problems, right? If I don't understand and appreciate and feel some sort of responsibility for helping address the business problem that you have, I'm never going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I had one slide, I thought it'd be a little controversial, so I didn't make it. One slide I had was, people aren't stupid, even if you think they are. There's a reason why they do that thing the way you think is wrong.
Right.
There's a reason why they didn't use the technology solution before. And sometimes the simple reason is they don't understand it. They don't really, it's magic. You have given them a black box. And when they sit in front of their manager and have to explain the solution that came out, that the answer can't be, I don't know, Cassandra's team put it together. Yeah, that's the wrong answer. They would rather take the long way with a spreadsheet, because they can understand that, they can dig into the weeds, they can answer follow-on questions. So a big part of getting my team, because we don't build things that are going to be delivered enterprise-wide.
Okay.
We are embedded in the business. We have a central organization that's responsible for that. We use the tools and the frameworks and the best practices they put together. But our primary job is to do what it takes to get the decision maker the information they need. And sometimes that's a slick optimization model that gives you the answer. Sometimes that's a dashboard. Sometimes that's a sensitivity study. But we are more about decision support.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to do an optimization model. We'd love to do a machine learning model. But if that's not where our customer is, that's not what we're going to do.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about your Informs life.
Okay.
Since you've been here for longer than you've been at ExxonMobil.
That's true. That's true.
What's the member benefit that you find most valuable?
The business analytics conference, I have to tell you, I haven't been in a few years, and I realized how much I missed it. The talks are always high quality. They're well attended. There are not, I'm okay with having 10 sessions running concurrently. But the conferences with like 100 sessions running concurrently, and the talks are only 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So if they run earlier, they run late, your whole schedule is thrown off. I like the nice big breaks in here, the way you can actually go and talk to people. It's really cool to see, like, all of my friends are now leaders. And leading this organization. We've suddenly become the grown-ups in the room, which is really cool.
Did that happen?
When did that happen?
That's awesome. Thank you. Briefly describe, have you been to the annual meetings then too?
I have been to the annual. I think the last one I went to was in Houston.
Okay. You were already there.
Yeah, I was already there.
How would you describe an Informs conference to someone who's never why they should come?
Why should they come?
Yeah.
If you want to learn something that you didn't even know you wanted to know.
Okay.
So today, it never even occurred to me that you could use a large language model to query a database. I mean, now when I say it out loud, it makes perfect sense. Right. And so you can have a conversation with your database. That's so cool. So I didn't even know I wanted to know that. And that was really neat. So you get tons of ideas. You get the opportunity to chat with other people. The executive session yesterday was really cool because it's basically how are you handling this at your company, and you get some great ideas that you could take back to work with.
Yeah.
So, and then the students are super cool. Yeah. To be able to see young people who are trying to I noticed this wasn't a thing, or maybe I wasn't paying attention 30 years ago when I was doing poster sessions or going through poster sessions. I saw a lot of things downstairs that were about helping humanity. So the impact of social media, I saw one on depression.
Yeah.
It was very, very cool.
Yeah.
It's nice to see young people be able to take a technical skill and be able to improve the world.
And be that excited about it.
And be that excited about it.
Yeah. If you couldn't be a data scientist, what would your ideal career be? Where do you think you'd be?
So I used to say, because I played viola forever, I would want to play on scores for musicals, musicals for movie themes. So just being in the score, and, just playing and watching the movie, because that's how I imagine they do it.
Yeah,
how they do it. But that's how I thought about it. That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
But as I'm coming to, sort of the golden years of my career, and I'll probably be retiring from ExxonMobil in the next 5 years or so, I've really thought about, what could my next chapter be? And I looked at things, and it's all still related to math. I love behavioral economics, and I found this new field called computational social science. And so I'm like looking at programs on that. Maybe I could work with that. I'm very involved in nonprofits in my community. And so I'm always trying to see if I can play around with their data, if they let me have it. So I can, I would think you would have plenty of resources.
Well, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You do. 12,000 people.
Exactly.
So that's all things you would want to do when you retire.
Yeah.
It's all fun stuff for you.
That's all fun stuff for me.
That's great.
That's
you people like that.
So yeah, maybe I'll go maybe I'll just go take private lessons.
Yeah,
so I start playing the viola again. Maybe I'll do that.
And then you'll just easily be in.
They'll just invite me to Hollywood.
That would be fun too. What's something interesting about you that's not listed on a professional resume? Well, now we know you used to play the viola.
Used to play the viola. What else?
Hidden talents.
Well,
our hidden.
I used this once as you give a little icebreaker, one fact about you that I used it once and was kind of embarrassed because no one guessed it. They guessed it for like 3 other people in the room, and you try to guess the person to the
and a lie.
Yeah, so they didn't get mine. I was voted best sense of humor in the 5th grade.
In the 5th grade,
and I still have the little. And I had a friend who did not believe me, and I actually found it and sent him a picture. It's like lies.
That's hilarious. And then you just stopped being funny.
And then
6th grade happened. And
6th grade, I was not funny anymore.
Shut it.
That's why no one believes me.
Very good. Couple more fun little questions about you. What's your favorite thing to binge watch? Do you have time to relax and binge watch?
What am I binge? I just finished binge watching Paradise.
Oh yeah,
it was so good.
It was good.
So good. I know. Everywhere there were plot twists.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite thing to binge watch is Project Runway. And I don't know when it's coming back.
It still on?
I hope it years ago, but so maybe that's a fun fact as well.
You're a model.
I know. I'm 5'3". Was not a model, but I really like to sew. And my daughters, I have 2 daughters. They're 24 and 26 now, but they let me make their prom dresses.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
some
cool.
of my favorite things I've ever made were their prom dresses, and I can show you afterwards. But the one I made that's my absolute favorite, it was a mess. 48 hours before prom, and my daughter was just like, "Mom," I was like, "I promise you, just give me another 24 hours." And if I don't get this done, I will take you to Neiman's, I will take you to Saks, and I will buy you whatever you want. And I got her to calm down, but I pulled it off.
Nice. We were just talking about how I do not know how to sew on a sewing machine, and I need to take the lesson. So
I learned how to sew in graduate school as a stress reliever.
Huh.
So
interesting. I find those things stressful. I tried to pick up
it's just a different
crochet during COVID, and it just made me more stressed out because I didn't know how to do it.
Crocheting takes a long time.
Yeah,
it takes a long time.
Not my thing. So good for you. Final thing, what do you like to do for fun, to relax on a weekend? Where can we find you?
What do I... Considering what I just said about decorating, I really like watching HGTV.
Okay. There's too many options.
There's too many options, too many programs. I'm really a homebody. I really, really like being at home. I like hanging out with my family.
Yeah.
The night before I left, my entire family was at my house for my niece's birthday. So it's super fun. We have grandchildren in the family that range from the age of 3 down to 30 down to 2.
Of grandchildren?
Yeah, there's a 30-year-old and there's a 2-year-old. There's 10 of them and they're super fun.
Yeah.
All the entire gamut of ages.
Yeah.
They're all just super fun to hang out with.
Where does everyone hang out? You took out all the chairs and the sofas and the pillow colors are wrong.
The pillow colors are wrong. There's furniture. There's just no curtains. The pillows are not quite what I want, but there's plenty of places.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to get to know you better and sharing your story. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our Informed YouTube channel.